You can get deals from sellers. Yes, you can. And I want to share with you exactly how you can do this right now. It's Cam from Premier Property, and today I want to share with you the fifth part. This is actually a 5-part video series. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, my name is Cam Devady. I'm the founder of Premier Property, and I'm sharing with you how you can create your financial freedom through property. And like I say, it's about discussing all about sellers, how you can get deals directly from sellers, no estate agents, directly from the vendor, the owner themselves, how you can negotiate. This is the fifth part. Feel free to watch video number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, where I've gone through with you how you can actually take the phone call. By now you know that in the second part I've covered with you how you prepare for the meeting. By now you also know that in part 3 I've covered with you how you can actually get into the meeting and get the fact finding. And the fourth video was all about how you can negotiate and do the deal there and then. Now, this part is the most important, and this is all about follow-up and how you can make the communication very crystal clear. Because many investors, what they do is they do all the other parts, and what they find at the end of it is a week later, the sellers had a change of mind. Somebody else, another investor's gone in, offered them more money, and the deal's fallen out of bed. So how do you keep the deal secure? How do you keep the deal within your realms? And how do you get that money into your bank account? Well, it's about 3 things. Firstly, it's all about keeping it temporal. So what do I mean by keeping it temporal? Let me explain. The longer you leave any communication with the vendor, the further the vendor gets away from you. The more distance there is between you and the vendor, the less likely of the deal happening. So I would urge you, like we do at Premier Property, to continuously communicate with the vendor. So how often do you communicate? Well, typically touching base with them twice a week, 1 to 2 times a week is more than enough to be communicating with them. So it's a fine line between, really stalking them and a fine line between actually communicating with them where, they feel valued and they feel that, you're a good person to be actually dealing with. So a couple of times you can mix this up. So that can be a phone call. One can be a phone call, or one could be a text. Or, if you communicate with week 1 or week 2, third week that might be a couple of texts. Or you can actually follow up with an email once every fortnight. So you can mix all of this up and you can use one of those 3 methods. Yeah, phone call, email, and text. So you're communicating with the vendor. And what you're communicating with the vendor, you piecemeal that communication. So you break it down into really minute steps. Why? Because it allows you to touch base with the actual owner, the vendor, the seller, even more so. If you just tell them, for example, let me give you an example. So if you tell the seller, John, as we're dealing with John over the last 4 videos, John, I'm getting my mortgage agreed. Once the mortgage gets agreed, I will let you know. Now, once you've said that, any more information until the mortgage is agreed, which might take you 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, there's not really much more you can say other than to repeat what you've already just said. So when you piecemeal this, you can break it down like this. So you communicate with the vendor, remember, twice a week. So you're communicating with them. Hi, John, just wanted to let you know that I've arranged my meeting with my mortgage broker and I'm going to be going to see them at the end of this week. Just thought I'd let you know. At the end of the week, you let them know, hi John, so this might be a text, just to let you know, as I promised you, I've met with the mortgage broker and he's putting a full application in the coming week. And so on. You get my point, right? So you piecemeal that information, which means your communication becomes so much more on point. And your sellers will really value you for this. Now, if they know that you're communicating, you're keeping them on track, they are very highly unlikely to go with someone else, even if they offer a higher price. In our experience, in my personal experience at Premier Property, people will do that. People will offer a higher price, but the seller will stay with you because, you've done everything the right way. You've honored them. You've negotiated with them. You're communicating with them. You're doing everything in a timely manner. So the timely part is really important. So the first part out of the three I'm sharing with you in terms of communicating and follow up. So the second thing that you can do is you can also make sure that you follow up with the actual communication of any paperwork that goes on through that mortgage process. So checking in with the vendor, have they done the parts that they need to do? So this is another part of your follow up. So we've got one part where you're being proactive and the other part where you're helping the seller to be proactive. Now you might think the seller will be proactive anyway. However, in my experience at Premier Property, what you notice is, I don't know why this is, sometimes we've even had viewings with sellers where they're getting repossessed in a couple of days. However, there's, I remember one situation very quickly where, the Saturday morning, we had agreed a time to view the property at 11 o'clock and the seller was asleep and he said, I haven't woken up yet, can you come back in an hour's time? And the guy is getting, on Tuesday, this is the weekend, and on Tuesday, he was getting repossessed. I mean, it's shocking what people do out there. So I would urge you not to, why do I mention that? Well, because it's very important to make sure that you're helping the seller to be proactive. Don't assume that they're going to be proactive. You're being proactive and you're helping the seller to be proactive. So follow up with any type of paperwork they need to be following up with. So for example, letting the valuation happen when it comes to a mortgage, making sure that they open the door to the valuer, that they are home and available to open the door to them. Yeah, making sure that they've signed the contracts and they've sent the contracts, to the solicitors, their solicitors, so they're ready and prepared for the actual sale. Making sure that they've actually filled in their fact find for the property, noting down, all anything or everything that they're going to be living in the property, which it will be a requirement by the solicitor. So just making sure that you're following up with them, making sure that they're following through with the process. So that's the second thing that you want to be also making sure that that is there. Now, the third thing is a reminder. So you're actually giving them a visual reminder of what you've agreed and why they've agreed it. Because the thing is, people out there sometimes can be quite fickle. They need to remember how good a deal that they've got right in front of you right now. So you need to remind them how good this deal is. So just in your communication, you're weaving this into the communication. You are sharing with them, hi John, just to let you know, the mortgage application is on its way, and the valuation is already booked in. So I just wanted to make sure that when I get the phone call that you're available this coming week, probably on a Monday or Tuesday, just wanted to make sure that you would be available. I'll let you know what times they're going to be. And you know what? I'm so happy for you. And this is the part that we're reminding them. I'm just so happy for you because I know that you're getting divorced right now, and I know you've got to get this property sold because I can't imagine the amount of pain that you must have been in. The challenges you've got with your fourth mortgage payment that's coming up. Be rest assured, we're keeping with our promise. We're going to stay with our promise, and we're going to make sure we get you through this so that you can move on and have an even better life. How would that feel actually? Once you've I'm just curious. How would that feel, knowing that the deal's been done, knowing that you got a confirmed buyer, knowing that you can actually move on, and know that you're still financially alive? John, how does that make you feel, mate? Do you see what we've done there? Yeah. So you do that in your own way, in the different situations. You can remind them. So there's the three parts of the follow-up and the commitment. Now, you do this, and you're gonna find that you're gonna have really good deals directly from the sale, from the seller. You're gonna find that you have 20, 30, 40% discounted deals by dealing with sellers in this way, where you're honoring them, where you have a system in place and you're showing your professionalism. Doesn't matter if you haven't done this yet. It might be your first time or it might be your 100th time. I hope these 5 videos have helped you. And you can subscribe here. Just click on the subscribe button. Do let me know some comments. And if you're negotiating, do let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear your comments. And if you already are negotiating and you've got some experience, I'd love to hear your comments here as well. And I hope I've added some value here. I will be doing some more videos for you in different topics. So feel free to join me. It's Cam Dwighty helping you with your financial freedom. I'll see you on the next video.